This part of the trail is gentle on a bench. We're up pretty high. Here's a walk along the top of a spine, or of a fin rather, excuse me. En route to Double Arch, it says. But where? The cairns lead me up here, but I don't see where we go, but we'll just keep moving. Well, I guess the rule is just keep the faith, because going right down along this spine, there are a couple signs that tell us where to go. A dramatic view from up here. This sign perfectly defines my opinion of government. Trail goes across rock fin. This sign is, you will see after you have already crossed the rock fin, without knowing that, and with very few cairns on top to give you confidence that that's the way you go. So after you've already done the only way that you can come in, it tells you that that's what you're going to encounter when you go out. Double Arch to the left, Black Arch Overlook to the right. I'm going to take a quick look at Black Arch Overlook now and then continue on to Double Arch, because I'm hoping the shadows will be a little bit more interesting this early in the morning. And there's Black Arch, probably named because the inside of it looks like it has a lot of black weathering on the walls, and because it's probably constantly in shadow. What's interesting though is what I shoot through, I think, may have been one time an arch. It's only about 6 feet from me. There's one side, and I'll pan across and you can see the other, but if we go up to the top you can see the remains of where it started to overreach this area. And then if I turn around and look down, here is another arch, but it's not named and probably won't be seen, and probably could be better called a cave. I was about to comment that I very seldom see any wildlife. Then I saw this little critter. I've seen a few of those, but I've seen no deer, a couple of tracks. This view of fins, or the front leading edge of fins, reminds me of a bunch of military boats tied up at a dock somewhere. The ground in front of us is a good example of how these fins begin their existence. The land somehow cracks from underneath, from that salt dome that is rising and falling apparently. And then weathering begins, and you can see a little bit of evidence of weathering. That's the width of the cracks. And that just keeps going for millenniums until the one on the left and the one on the right are fins, except that the difference here, notice that there are diagonal lines that are also parallel for some reason, and that means that this section to the right, millenniums from now, will probably wear down first and crumble first. named it Double Arch. Notice the large one on top and then a smaller one at the bottom. And I think the trail allows us to go down, take a closer look at this. I'm still interested in finding Dark Angel, and hopefully there'll be a sign that tells me where we go farther to find that. Looks like a trail down there, so maybe we'll see a sign. You certainly are back here by yourself, that's for sure. I haven't seen anybody behind me. I'm sure there is. There was an elderly man, but he dropped off fairly quickly. I love being in places like this. Remote, quiet. It's exhilarating and peaceful at the same time. Tranquil and dramatic. Climbed through that lower arch and up along the side here to get a view from the other side. Climbed a little bit higher to get this view of both the arches. Now I need to find Dark Angel. I have seen no signs for it. Here also, in what I think is a side that's very much sheltered from the sun all the time, is a good example of that desert varnish. You can see where some modern people have attempted to make some scratches in it, but they haven't done a very good job, fortunately. The native people would have come at it with probably a tougher kind of stone and a little bit more artistic dedication. This signpost, which I missed, no surprise, indicates that if I want to go back to the parking lot via the main trail that I came, there's the route, or the parking lot via the primitive loop, which is a little bit longer, or Dark Angel, which is to my left, which is where I'm going now. By way of counterpoint, on the way to Dark Angel is this large broad valley. Apparently from that dirt road up there you can get access to it, probably with four-wheel drives. Tells me this is the end of the trail and Dark Angel Arch should be here. I see this otherwise giant monolith, but I'll hike a little further in hopes of seeing another arch.